Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Microeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I want to do is give you an introduction to this course, and specifically I'm going to cover the course syllabus with you. I'm going to show you the activities page in Ozarka. Alright, so the first thing is, my name again is Stephen Balch. I teach business courses here on the Mountain View campus. That's where my office is. I also, of course, teach online as well. If you need to contact me during this semester to ask a question, the best way to do that is through course mail over here on the left-hand side of the page where all the links are. Just use that course mail link to send me your message, and then I'm really good about getting back to you right away. So when you send me a message, though, make sure that you are very specific with your question so that I know exactly what you're asking about. You know, if we have to go back and forth several times to get to specifically, what your question is, how I can help you, then that's just going to take longer for you to get your answer. So the more specific you can be in your message to me, the more effective I'm going to be at getting back to you with some good information to answer your questions. Okay, so just kind of be mindful of that. All right, so the first thing, when you first log into Ozarka and you click on the link for this particular course, you'll see this introductory page that I'm showing you right here. And of course it has information about the course. It has a picture of me here as the instructor. On the right hand side, any due dates that are coming up will show up here on the right hand side of the page. And then any announcements that I posted will show under announcements right here at the bottom. So during the course of the semester, I will be posting announcements to remind you of things that are coming up due in the course, just to keep you on the right track, and also other just general information that I need to make you aware of. So just make a habit of kind of looking through those announcements as you go through the semester and access the course page in Ozarka. Just always be mindful to read through those announcements because they are important to be aware of. Alright, so first thing I want to show you here on the left hand side of the page in all these navigation panes is the course syllabus. So let's go ahead and click on syllabus there. And this is basically, the syllabus basically just outlines all the things that we'll be doing this semester and all of the guidelines that we need to follow. The responsibilities for you as a student and things that are responsibilities for me as the instructor. And so it's very important this first week of class that you take time. It doesn't take a huge amount of time, but just make sure that you're actually reading through and understanding all the information that's on this syllabus. Alright? And today what I'm going to do is kind of hit the high points and kind of tell you the things, the parts of the course syllabus that I really want you to pay closest attention to. But you do need to read through all of it this first week of class and let me know if you have any questions. It's pretty well self-explanatory, so that's why I'm not going to spend a lot of time today in this video reading it to you because you can read it yourself. But I am going to kind of hit the high points of it for you. Okay? Alright. So at the very top of the course syllabus, there's information about this course. Of course, the start date, the end date, and so forth. Then a little bit further down, there's information about me. Again, my contact information, my phone number, from my office here in Mountain View, my Ozarka email, and then it also has my office hours and so forth. But again, just like I said just a few minutes ago, the most effective way and really the recommended way for you to contact me during the course of the semester is to use course mail over here on the left-hand side. Use that course mail, and that way when you send me a message, it'll have the course name on it so I know what course it pertains to, and I know who, the student that's sending me the message. If you send a message through my general Ozarka email, I may or may not have that information, and then I may have to, we may have to go back and forth several times to figure out who is asking the question and exactly what course it pertains to. So just to kind of eliminate that issue, that problem, just use course mail if you have questions or concerns about this particular course. Okay? All right. So a little bit further down on the course syllabus, there are three categories there, or three parts of the course syllabus that are all closely tied together, and those are the course description, rationale, and outcomes. And so because they are all closely tied together, I'm going to kind of talk about them all at one time here. Basically, in this course, we're going to be learning about basic economic theory, economic decision-making, things like demand and supply, consumer choice and utility, production and cost in the firm, market structure and pricing, and then finally resource markets. And these are all topics that are part of microeconomics. So now economics in general is basically the study of how individuals make decisions on how best to use their scarce resources. Okay, so we're basically trying to figure out how people deal with the basic economic problem, which is we have unlimited wants, but we have limited resources or scarce resources that we have available to satisfy those unlimited wants. And because of that discrepancy there between what we want and what we have, that forces us to make economic choices or decisions. And economics is just a study of how those decisions are made, what goes into those decisions, and so forth. Now, what makes microeconomics different from just economics in general or the other major category of economics, which is macroeconomics, is that in microeconomics, we're kind of looking at the economy through a microscope. We're looking at individual markets, like the labor market. We're looking at, like, for example, the automobile market or the pizza market. We're looking at individual markets and how decision makers in those individual markets, like households and businesses and firms, are making decisions. Okay? So microeconomics is, again, the study of how humans allocate their scarce resources in an attempt to satisfy their unlimited wants. So we will be looking at things like basic economic problems, economic principles concerning resources and cost and advantages in production. We'll be looking at, again, demand and supply in various markets. We'll be looking at things like consumer choice and production and utility and cost, different market structures, and we'll also look at labor unions and labor markets as well. Okay, so just kind of read through those first three main sections there on the course syllabus. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, it's pretty well self-explanatory, and I kind of explained it already, but if you have questions, just let me know. I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. The textbook that we need for this class is shown right here under Text Required Materials. So it's called Econ Micro, and it's the 7th edition, and it shows the ISBN number there. When you go to purchase your textbook, whether it's through the college bookstore or somewhere else, just make sure you're verifying that you get the correct textbook by checking the ISBN number. Make sure you get the correct textbook with the correct ISBN number. The other thing is, as far as your textbook, make sure that you are getting your textbook the first week of class. All right, make sure that you're purchasing your textbook as soon as possible, because there will be work due from the textbook during the second week of class, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So don't wait until the second, third, or fourth week to get your textbook. Go ahead and get it now, and that way you can stay on track in the class and not miss any activities. All right. Now, in addition to the textbook, the other thing you're going to need is a reliable internet access. Okay? So if you don't have internet access at home, you'll have to use the computers on campus to do your work for this course. Okay? But either way, you've got to be able to, since this is an online class, you've got to have a reliable internet connection so that you can do the work for this class. Okay? All right. Next item on the syllabus is the methods of instruction. I'm just going to kind of let you read through that. It's pretty well self-explanatory, but again, if you have questions after you read it, just let me know. Now, probably the most important part of the course syllabus is the evaluation procedures section right here. All right? On this section of the syllabus, it explains exactly how your grade is going to be determined in this course. In this course, there are basically 5 things that are going to comprise your grade. You've got assignments, discussions, chapter test, midterm exam, and a final exam. Okay? So, and it shows you how, what percentage each one of those is going to represent as far as your final course grade. All right? So just make sure you take some time this first week of class to carefully read through this very important section called evaluation procedures. All right? And like I said, I'm not going to read it to you. It's pretty well self-explanatory, but there is quite a bit here. Just carefully read through it this first week of class. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Be happy to answer any questions that you have. Now, the very last item under the evaluation procedure section is a new section that I just added this semester, which is called the Artificial Intelligence or AI policy. Make sure you carefully read through that. The main thing in this course is you want to make sure that even if you're using AI, and you can use AI to learn more about the concepts that are covered in the course, to get a better idea of what we're learning in the course and various concepts. But you don't want to rely on AI so much that you're letting AI do all your work for you. Okay, and I will know if you're using AI, using the words from AI rather than put the information in your own words. So just be careful with that. Make sure that no matter what other sources you use, including the textbook, whatever, to do your work for this course, you still need to put the information into your own words. And I will be looking for that. So, and we'll be talking about in just a few minutes about the academic integrity policy for the college. And this is where, again, you'll need to make sure you're doing your own work. Okay? All right. Next item is the grading scale. That's just the standard grading scale that you see in most classes. So just let me know if you have questions about that. Next item on the course syllabus, which is also extremely important, is the makeup policy. Again, it's very clear as you read through the makeup policy that I've listed here, so I'm not going to read it to you. Just read through it on your own. Let me know if you have any questions about it. All right. Another thing I want you to carefully read through is the academic integrity section right here. This is something I referred to just a minute ago when I was talking about the AI policy. Just make sure that, if you're using additional sources to like AI or other online tools to learn more about the concepts in the course, and that it's perfectly fine to do that, but you still need to put the information that you're turning in as your own for this course, you still need to put that into your own words. So when you're doing assignments, discussions, and other activities for this class, just make sure that when you're turning that activity in, that it's your own work, that you actually use your own words for that particular activity. And again, it's pretty easy to tell whether you're doing your own work or you're not. Okay, so just just make sure you're doing your own work, and then you'll be fine. All right, and then the last several items on the course syllabus are pretty standard for all your classes. So I'm gonna just let you read through that. Those are just things you need to kind of read through and let me know if you have any questions about. All right, so that's the course syllabus. So this first week of class, I'd like you to carefully read through the course syllabus, especially those things that I said were very important on the course syllabus. And just let me know if you have any questions. You can send me a course mail to ask a question about it, and I'll be glad to get back with you right away and answer your questions. Okay? All right. Let's also, another important item in addition to the syllabus to look at this first week is the activities page. So let's go ahead and click on activities over here on the navigation links. And this activities page is probably the page that you're going to use most often as we go through this semester for this course. Because this is where all the activities are, all of your assignments and your discussions and your tests and exams are all on this activities page. This is where you're going to submit all of your work for this course. Now, all of the items here on the activities page are all divided into the weeks of the semester. So it goes from week 1 at the very top all the way down to week 17 where we'll do our final exam. So everything is divided by week, divided into weeks there. Now, under week 1, you'll notice 2 items there. You've got a Getting Started link or activity and an Introduce Yourself activity. Let's click on Getting Started first. And there, what I've basically done is I've provided just convenient location for links to all the things that I want you to do just to kind of get started in the class this first week. So you've got the course schedule, you've got the course syllabus, and you've got the link to the textbook. Okay, so those are all things that you need to, again, read through. Of course, you want to get your textbook this first week of class so that you can get started on the activities. And so there's really nothing to turn in for the Getting Started activity. It's just you need to make sure that you're, again, getting your textbook and reading through the syllabus and the schedule just to be able to get on the right track this first week of the semester. Okay? All right, let's go back to activities there. So again, Getting Started is just basically you need to look through that information, get your textbook. So there's nothing to turn in for it. The only thing that you'll actually submit for a grade this first week of class will be this Introduce Yourself discussion item. So let's go ahead and click on that. What I've done here on this Introduce Yourself discussion is I've posted some information about myself here and kind of introduced myself to the class through a discussion post. And what I want you to do this first week of class is click on Reply and tell me some information about yourself that you want to share with the class. Of course, your name, and if you go by a different name than what's on the roster, let me know that. So I'm calling you by your preferred name during the semester. And then tell me, just a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, maybe what your course of study is, what your major is, maybe what you hope to get out of this class, your hobbies, your interests, things like that. Just, whatever information you want to share. And then as you reply during this first week of the course, I will reply to your reply with some basic information. And then I will share a little bit more about myself as we go through this discussion. This is just a way for us to get to know each other a little bit, since this is an online class and we don't see each other face to face. This is just kind of a way for us to at least through an online discussion get to know each other just a little bit before we really get started in the course. Okay, so that's that Introduce Yourself discussion is really the only thing that is due this first week of class as far as something you're going to turn in for a grade. As soon as I see that you've replied to that Introduce Yourself discussion, I will put your points in, and then again I will reply to you as well. All right, and so that's week 1. Now, the first set of activities from the textbook are going to be due Tuesday of next week, which is August 26th. So you can see the close date here is basically the due date for those activities. Okay, so you have an open date, which is when it's available, which is the first day of class, and then the close date is the due date. Okay, so you've got under week 2 here, you've got the chapters 1 and 2 assignment, you've got the chapters 1 and 2 test, discussion, and then you have the case studies which go along with the discussion. Okay, and as you click on each one of those activities, I provided very detailed instructions there, so just carefully follow the instructions. And if you have any questions, again, just let me know, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. But basically, it's all pretty well self-explanatory. So Those are the items that you'll have due under week 2 there. And that's really all I wanted to cover today. I don't want to make this video too long, but just, again, be working on those things that I kind of talked about today. And let me know, again, if you have any questions at all. If you do have a question, again, make sure you're using course mail to ask that question and be very specific with what you're asking about so I can more effectively get a response to you. And other than that, I hope everybody has a great semester. I'm really looking forward to teaching this course. I've taught this course just about every semester for the 26 years I've been here at Ozarka, and so I really enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to this semester. Hopefully you will enjoy the course as well and get a lot from it. I think you will. So everybody have a great semester, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you.